Hi friends, welcome to the Shae Report. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And for those who are returning, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to share this channel with others, get others involved, become active citizens, because that's what this channel is all about. So I wanted to dive into this video, but I wanted to preface something first. The topic that I'm going to be talking about today isn't something that I typically talk about, and it is about race. And this channel is not about that. It's about being educated, knowing what we're up against. There's enough people who talk about race. There's enough division amongst people in talking about race. But I wanted to mention something, especially since that seems to be the center of Kamala Harris's campaign and getting Black women or Black people, or even now white men, saying that white men for Kamala Harris. And typically those men, they're just weak. They're like beta men, beta males. They don't have any backbone or anything of that sort. That's from what I've gathered by seeing all these men on white men for Kamala Harris. They all seem to be very spineless. That's just my perspective and my viewpoint from what I've collected by seeing these men. But the reason I'm saying this is because it just seems to be so much race relation about voting for her. And what I wanted to say first is that we should never vote for someone based on their skin color. I know a lot of people talk about Martin Luther King Jr., how you should judge people by the content of their heart and their character and not on their exterior or what they look like. We should never ever vote for someone based on how they look, their exterior, their race, whatever, their ethnicity, whatever it may be. You have to vote for people for their qualifications, if they're qualified for the job, if they're able to help us, to be a public servant, and if they're just qualified. That's what you need to vote for people, not based on the most shallow thing that they can't really help is their race. So with that being said, I wanted to preface that, but the reason why I brought up that is because I recently found out about a story about Kamala Harris when she was a prosecutor in California and was prosecuting people. There was this lady named Shae Peoples, or Shae Peoples, if I'm pronouncing it right, and she had a daughter that has a very terrible sickness. And I'm gonna show the video to you, but I was so horrified when I had seen it because she pretty much targeted people of color. And we all know the statistics between Black people and their household, how there's a large percentage of unwed mothers, single mothers raising children. Of course, that statistic has spread abroad to other ethnicities as well, or nationalities, or races, if you wanted to call it that. So that is very broad now and widespread, which is unfortunate, but it is very prevalent in the Black community where there's a lot of fatherlessness. I come from that background. My mom had me at 19 years old. My father was not in the picture. So I am someone that comes from that background, so I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'll play the video so that you can see it. But the thing that was so disheartening about this whole entire thing is how injustice was served, an injustice to this lady, this single mother, and it was all for the sake of money, all about money and the evilness. And the thing that I wanted to point out is, you'll see in the video, but I'm wondering, where was BLM? They're always talking about Black Lives Matter, and where were they during this time? And it was 2013 when this happened, and Black Lives Matter was around then, and they're always saying they're for Black people. And it's like, okay, well, a lot of Black people were targeted. Aren't we supposed to, don't their lives matter? So that was just one thing that was very disheartening to me to see this. It just was like she was targeting these single women instead of uplifting them and helping them and saying, yes, she's for them because she's a Black woman. We see no evidence of that when she was dealing with this lady, Shae Peoples. Instead of helping these single women and doing something for them, she actually hurt them and put this particular lady in a very tough situation, a terrible situation. So I'm gonna play the whole video for you, and then we're gonna come back on. I want you to look until the very end because it is so disheartening and so terrible. So I'm gonna play the video for you, and we will come back.
I intend to fight for Black Lives Matters. I intend to fight.
If Black Lives matter to her, why didn't I matter?
Because of truancy, California public schools lose $1.4 billion a year in funding. I want money.
I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
And I spent a majority of my time here at the hospital.
When Kamala Harris was the California Attorney General, she had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I have sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a hereditary disease, and it is very, very painful.
In 2012, like all California parents, I received a threatening letter from Kamala Harris saying we'll go to jail for a year if our kids even miss 10% of school days. Little did I know, there was a warrant out for my arrest. All of a sudden, the police is outside my house and they started banging on the door. They told me I was under arrest for my child missing school. I was shocked. I said, but my baby is sick. The school knows that. And they said, go talk to Kamala Harris. Place your hands behind your back.
My mom did nothing wrong. We did everything we were supposed to. I was always bringing doctor's notes, always calling the school to let them know that I was in the hospital.
But my hell was just beginning. They gave me 2 charges. I spent the next 2 years in court fighting these charges. Kamala assigned her nastiest prosecutors to my case.
My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
All the time I had to spend going to court, I was struggling to care for my Shae.
We are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
I lost my job and couldn't pay rent, and we got evicted. I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
And I ended up being in the hospital a lot during her trial. And in that hospital stay was when I had my stroke.
I had a stroke about 4 or 5 days ago, and right now I'm doing pretty good. My hand is doing okay, I guess.
Let's be clear, my values have not changed.
Look, I am not a political person, but I want people to know what Kamala Harris has did to me. If she do it to me, she will abuse anyone if you give her the power.
The truancy program got a lot of criticism too. Did you actually lock anybody up?
No, we never locked anybody up. We did prosecute some cases, but far few, only about 20.
My message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
So as you can see, that is so terrible what happened to her daughter and what happened to her. All because of Kamala Harris, who says she's for Black people and says she's Black. I really don't care what color she is, but what she did to that lady, I don't believe in reparations, but I believe that she should get reparations. I believe that Miss Shae should get reparations. And like I said, where was BLM? Why are they helping single mothers if Black Lives Matter? Why aren't they helping women that need help? Why didn't they step in for this lady and say, you know what, you're targeting people, instead of helping her and understanding her situation? This is a very unique situation. She wasn't causing her daughter to skip school because she was in a gang. She wasn't causing her daughter or allowing her daughter to skip school because of some crazy thing, because she just wasn't wanting her to go to school. The girl had an illness. And that is so disheartening. When I seen that, I'm like, how wicked can you possibly be? And as you had seen, the amount of money that they make per student, that's the reason why they wanted them there. So it is just pure insanity how people just eat and consume everything that the corporate-owned media feeds to them. They're like, oh, Kamala Harris is for black people. I don't see any evidence of that whatsoever. So me as a black person am not voting for Kamala Harris. Me as a black woman, yes, I am not voting for her. I think what she did was pure wickedness. I think she lies, and she's not the best person for the job. So that is my viewpoint on this. Be sure to share this video with others, because people need to know this. That's another reason why I put this video up today, because today was the last day to register to vote. And there's so many people who are uneducated and thinking, oh, she's for black people. We need to vote for her, the first black president. People are so insane and so shallow. They vote on character instead of qualifications. They vote on color instead of, is she the right person for the job, or is he the right person for the job? They vote on the wrong things. They should be voting on policy and what's best for the American people, what's best for your finances, what's best for the economy. Like I said, share this video with others, enlighten people, because that's what we're all about, is educating ourselves. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.